All right, we have a little bit of breaking news for a familiar face returning to the building and signing a deal with the practice squad. That is tight end Jody Fortson, a very familiar face of the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a UDFA in 2019, and he saw some playing time in 2021, 2022. He's a bigger-bodied guy. They used him a lot in like some niche packages, red zone. But yeah, he's a familiar face here, a fan favorite. I am not 100% sure why this move happened when it did, but I'll get into a couple reasons why it could potentially be. But first, with the news, the Chiefs are actually having pressers, and Nate Taylor and other beat reporters said, hey, Jody Fortson is here. He's walking around. He's in the building. He's in the locker room. Okay, that was the first stuff. And then Sam McDowell said it's a practice squad contract agreement with Jody Fortson. Matt Derrick also reported on this about 40 minutes ago, as of when I'm going live and talking to you guys about it. Jody Fortson is returning to the Chiefs on the practice squad per source. He arrived back in Kansas City last night and is in the locker room this morning. Keontae Ingram, running back Keontae Ingram, also re-signed with the Chiefs practice squad. A couple things to note here. Jody Fortson did spend some time with the Dolphins. He didn't make their 53-man roster, I'm pretty sure. And then I thought he signed with their practice squad and was there for a little bit. I could be wrong there, but he definitely was a free agent, meaning if he made the practice squad, he actually got let go from the practice squad as well, and he was just a free agent. So the Chiefs had a visit with him. They said, hey, you want to come back? The biggest knock on Jody Fortson really in his career has just been the inability to stay healthy. He had a couple season-ending injuries. Last year, I think it was last year, he was put on season-ending IR, or it could have been the year prior. It all kind of blends. He then had an elbow injury that affected him for a lot of, I believe, the 2021 season. But yeah, he's back. So the question about Jody Fortson to me is, what's happening and why is there a shift on the practice squad? He's going to be wearing number 89 because Peyton Hendershot, who's with the Chiefs on their practice squad, he's wearing 88. So a couple thoughts about that. Charles Goldman of A to Z Sports kind of highlights it in this article here. So you signed two people to the practice squad and you only had room for one. So they either are going to have another roster move incoming, or somebody potentially poached a player from the Chiefs practice squad, possibly a tight end. Now, when you look at the Chiefs roster, they've got three players on the active: Noah Gray, Travis Kelce, Jared Wiley. That's three players on the 53. But if you go to the practice squad and look, you have a couple tight ends. You've got Baylor Cupp and you've got Peyton Hendershot, the guy they just traded for from the Cowboys, waived him. He cleared waivers and is now on the practice squad. So, couple potential things. Did Baylor Cupp or Peyton Hendershot get poached? Did Baylor Cupp or Peyton Hendershot get injured? There's a couple different things there. Or are they just drastically underperforming? They wanted to look around. Jody Fortson was available. He's familiar with the team. He knows the coaches, the scheme, the playbook. He'll have to get up to speed, obviously, but they ended up bringing him back. So we'll have to look for a corresponding roster move sooner rather than later. I don't think there will be an announcement on the move made just yet, but that's kind of what's going on. What impact do I think Jody Fortson is going to have on this team right now? I mean, not much. He would be like a depth guy in case of injuries. You can use him in some niche packages, red zone. He's a big-bodied guy, 6'4". He can go up and get it. That's how they've used him in the past. He can play some special teams. But right now, we'll just have to kind of see what the corresponding move is later today. Is Baylor Cupp injured or poached or let go? What about Peyton Hendershot? Again, those are the only other two on the practice squad. I hope that doesn't mean there's an injury from somebody on the active roster. Noah Gray, Jared Wiley, Travis Kelce. And hopefully it doesn't mean anything else about Jared Wiley, like him not really performing right now. He's a rookie. It's taking some time. He hasn't been very involved on the offense. I don't think it means anything like that. But I'd be curious to know your guys' thoughts, what you think about the return of Jody Fortson. The end of the day with the corresponding transaction that could happen following Jody Fortson and Keontae Ingram getting added to the practice squad could give us a little bit of a more clear picture. We're probably not going to find out for a few hours, But yeah, there you go. Jody Fortson is back. I don't know that it's a huge move, but I did want to go live and just do a little bit of breaking news piece on it because he's a familiar face. He's been here. He's a fan favorite. He has made some plays, had some nice rapport with Patrick Mahomes when he was healthy. Cole, would you say Jody is the best tight end in Chiefs history? He's definitely a fan favorite and one of the most hyped up / believed in. Like every year, it's Jody's year, and we are always rooting for him, man. But yeah, he had trouble staying healthy, which is unfortunate, and he couldn't catch on with the Dolphins. I don't know why. Somebody said, why is Jody here? Yeah, we'll have to find out later. There's probably a corresponding move on the practice squad, so we'll see why. We'll see what happened. Injury derailed his start, said Noah, but I'm excited. Has a body type and play style we don't have. Yeah, I mean, Justin Ross can kind of do that. He's a bigger bodied guy, but Jody Fortson is even more, he's like a more stocky version of Ross. And he could really go get it, and he can kind of bully people too. What's up, Cole? Yeah, I'll be at the Broncos game, man. November 10th, I'll be there. Yes, Jordy, hope he can stay healthy. He looks so promising. Yes, sir, Justin. You always hope for the players to stay healthy, and you know, I hope that the reason why they brought Jody in wasn't because somebody else on the active roster or practice squad is banged up. You know, you never want that to be the case. Always my go-to channel for anything Chiefs related. Thank you so much, man. I feel like he could have been a good weapon for the Dolphins. Weird they never used him. Yeah, he never caught on with the Dolphins. Mando said red zone target. Exactly. Yeah, Dolphins got Neil Farrell. They just signed him to the practice squad. Justin said dude deserves another chance. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm not going to stay on here for too long. I just wanted to do a quick breaking news piece. We got a lot of stuff we're working on for the Chiefs-Chargers preview video. Got an interview with Seth Kaiser coming out later today. Alex is editing it now. He's breaking down some film from the Atlanta Falcons game. So we got a lot going on. But, you know, a familiar face, sometimes I would wait, and if a practice squad move is made, I might include it in tomorrow's video. But I was like, it's Jody Fortson, man. People love Jody Fortson, fan favorite. We'll see what happens here, if he gets any playing time. They're always shuffling pieces around in the practice squad. But as a Chief, like if you're a Chief staff or coach, if you're going to have somebody on the practice squad, why not bring in somebody that knows the system, that you know can contribute, familiar with the scheme, the playbook, if needed to be elevated from the practice squad for game day. Like that's a guy that can pretty quickly get up to speed and contribute. And again, as a reminder, Kareem Hunt is now on the 53-man roster. They waived running back Keontae Ingram from the active roster. They signed him last week as like a just-in-case guy for game day. While he wasn't needed, they believe Kareem Hunt is at least ready enough to be on the 53-man roster. So they signed him, waived Keontae Ingram. Keontae Ingram then cleared waivers, and he's now on the practice squad. And that's good. You want Keontae Ingram to stay just because he's probably the most experienced running back in the room in case of emergency, outside of maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, obviously, they're giving the go-ahead nod to Carson Steele. They're giving the go-ahead nod to the third down back, Samaje Perine. CEH could potentially be back soon after week 4. He could be back from the to the roster from the NFI list. We'll kind of see what's going on there, but Kareem Hunt is going to play this Sunday. Meanwhile, Keontae Ingram back on the practice squad. Jody Fortson now back on the practice squad. And I'm just checking Twitter one more time before getting off. I don't see a corresponding move made just yet, but there you go. Yeah, Fortson is back, Constant. Yes, sir. You were wondering why they were keeping that spot open. Yeah, and they still have a spot open on the 53-man roster. Are they keeping it back for CEH? Keeping it open, rather? I don't know. For when he comes back, they still have 52 spots of 53 on the active roster, so they can still make a move. Is that maybe that means CEH is looking good and coming back, but how many running backs you want on the roster? I mean, at that point, you would have Carson Steele. Well, I guess it would just be 4, right? Carson Steele, Samaje Perine. You would then have Kareem Hunt and then maybe CEH. I mean, that's not too many, in my opinion, but we'll see. The Chiefs are always shuffling based on injuries, based on stuff going on, so we'll kind of have to wait and see what the corresponding move is, but there you go. Jody Fortson is back with the Kansas City Chiefs after being with the Dolphins for a little bit of time, but mainly being with the Chiefs on the practice squad, off and on, a little bit of time with the active roster since 2019. So let me know your thoughts on the signing of Jody Fortson in the comments down below, and let me know if you're rooting for him. Maybe he'll see some playing time, maybe he won't. I have no idea. But either way, familiar face is back, a fan favorite. So there you go. And until next time, let's go Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?